Welcome to Vocal Tips in 10 with me, voice professional and your host, Amber Mogg Cathy. The show where every week you'll get actionable tips in vocal technique, artistry, health, and more, all in 10 minutes or less. Your best voice is just a tip away, so let's go. Hello, singers, and welcome to Vocal Tips in 10. I am so excited that I have my friend, my longtime collaborator at the studio. We've been working together 6 years now, I think. And then just a fantastic singer and songwriter in her own right, Eva Cassel with me. So welcome, Eva.
Hello, everybody.
I'm so thrilled to have you here. Eva is a coach at the studio. She teaches voice and songwriting, so vocal and songwriting coach. And then she's jumping on today to more talk to us from her perspective as an artist and a touring artist, because she just got off of, I would say, your biggest tour yet to date, right? All throughout the US and Canada. She was singing with Lily Meola, opening up for Wild Rivers. And I got to see you in Boulder, and you guys were so great. So I wanted to have you on today so people can get to know you, and also just to hear any tips or a tip you might have just on navigating a tour of that scale for the first time.
Yeah, there's some things from the vocal health perspective and just vocalist perspective that I'd love to share, which is, things that are fairly simple but really important, like just warming up beforehand and cooling down afterwards, and drinking a lot of water, and not just chugging water right before you go on, but sipping water throughout the day, which we've learned is the only way to actually really fully hydrate your whole body and system.
You guys were touring by van, by plane, and also in totally different areas of the country and Canada, which also means totally different weather and temperature and
air
right?
quality different levels of humidity and all of that. I think it can be really easy for anyone to not want to hydrate while they're traveling, because having to go to the bathroom while you're in a van or on a plane sucks. But I think it's way better to be hydrated and maybe be uncomfortable and have to use the bathroom sometimes than to be dehydrated. That's just going to lead to so many more problems, vocally speaking, but also just your overall health. So I always was just sipping on water. Every gas station we stopped at, I made sure that I had water with me. So staying hydrated is a big one. The other thing is just trying to be really tuned into how you're feeling and doing whatever you need to do in that moment, whether that is physically or emotionally. I tried really hard to just constantly be checking in with myself. Do I need to go for a walk and have a moment of alone time? Because that's another thing you don't really get on the road, especially when you're touring in a van. So just going for a walk can be really, really helpful. And sometimes you only have, a few minutes in between sound check and getting food and getting back to the venue. But also physically, being able to notice when your voice is feeling tired, and maybe doing a little bit of extra rehab around that. I had my straws with me, and I love to do a big straw in water. It's one of my favorite cool downs, which I tried to do, most nights, but especially the nights where I was feeling tired. And then also just limiting the amount of using my voice that I was doing, especially when I was feeling tired. And that can even just be talking in the van with everybody else. There was many times where I would just put my headphones in and close my eyes and just pretend that I was in my own little bubble, because I needed the mental break, and I also needed the physical break. And you don't often get to choose when you're able to rest and sleep, and I have come to think of those as two separate things. So you take what you can when you can. And then the other thing is just trying to eat as healthily as possible, which is really, really tough on the road.
Hard on the road. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Because again, you don't know when you're going to be able to eat. You don't often have a lot of choice of what you have to eat. But something that really helped me, was we stopped at a lot of Starbucks, and Starbucks has these green juices.
Starbucks shout out. Anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
They need it. You guys might not have heard of them. They're a great place and
Great
conveniently
chain
located.
that we love. Yeah, but I would always try and get a green juice. We also would stop at grocery stores, and having some kind of snack on hand at all times was really, really crucial for me.
I think kind of what you hit on, or kind of the two things I'm thinking about is one is it's such a holistic thing. We're more than a voice. And then it also sounds like it takes some planning.
Yeah, very much a holistic thing. And so much of touring, I think, is about the hang too, because you're around people 24/7. I think it's important to remember that the only way that you can be a good hang is if you're taking care of yourself. So trying to pick and choose, okay, what is a night post show that I want to go out and celebrate with everyone versus what is a night where I'm going to, go back to the hotel early if I can and just get a full night rest.
Yeah. And I think that's, like we said, going back holistically, that's not just mentally and physically, but our body is our voice. Yeah. So part of that is like life as a singer. A drummer maybe could go celebrate more often, but a singer who, like, if your body is fatigued, your vocal performance is not going to be the same. You're not going to have as much energy in the performance if you physically don't have the energy to do it. So I think that's it's something we all experience as singers, but especially on tour, it's a major juggling act.
Yeah, and I think every person is different too, and I now know that I am somewhat of a sensitive flower, especially when it comes to hydration, and a big part of that is alcohol. And there's such a big culture on the road of drinking, and I was super lucky to be out with a crew that weren't super heavy drinkers, so that made it easier, but I barely had any alcohol on this tour because I knew I was already getting very little sleep. I was already asking so much of my body and my voice, and I was singing really demanding vocal parts every night. It was a huge part of the show, and I just thought it's not worth it. It's not worth it to do that.
Yeah, that just highlights to me the athleticism that comes with being a singer. It's the same thing as like any other athlete expected to perform at a high level, touring in a bus with the team, right? It's so similar. But it has to be like, yeah, I want to celebrate with the team, but also like, I know what my body needs to perform at its highest level. Just having to make those choices that can be tough, but are such an integral part of still having your voice at the end of those many weeks of touring.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it took me a long time to really build this skill of being tuned into how my body feels, how my voice feels, and what I need to do around that. And that goes for what I'm eating, what I'm drinking, like that, again, a very holistic approach to it.
This has been so great, Eva. And we didn't even hit on some of the amazing things that you got to experience. For example, I will brag for you. Like, I couldn't believe it. Eva messaged me and she was like, so Neil Young just hugged me. She played the Harvest Festival, and there's a video, if you can find it online, of her on stage singing with Lily Meola and Bree Kennedy, while John Mayer is up there singing and playing guitar, and Neil Young is up at the front. Like, that is pretty amazing.
Yeah.
I was living vicariously through you. Another reason why I wanted to have you on so you could share this expertise, because it's such an experience that so many singers strive to have, but I also just want people who know about the studio or might listen to me to know about the fab partner and associate coach that I have. And you offer vocal and songwriting coaching lessons. Eva does a free consultation. So anybody who wants to check her out and learn from, not only, we've been working together 6 years, so we approach things very similarly. Eva in the summers teaches songwriting at Berklee College of Music, which we are both alums of. And, all this experience that you've had is so fantastic as an artist. And then it's also what a wonderful thing to then be able to take in and have all these experiences to add to all the training that you have to help support the artists that you work with.
Yeah.
So 100%. I'm thrilled you're here. I'm going to put links below. Book a consultation with Eva. Check her out. And also, I'm going to put your links below for them to listen to your music because a dreamy singer and songwriter, and so happy to have you on, my friend.
Thanks. Thanks so much for having me.
All right. See you guys on the next episode. Bye.